Hello, hi, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to go through all of my small hand accessible decks. I have tiny little hands here. This is a standard tarot and it's about the same size as my hand. So I am a riffle shuffler and I do okay with standard tarot size. It starts to wear on my hands a little bit at like standard oracle size, and then anything larger than a standard oracle size, yeah, it's a struggle. So I just wanted to kind of go through all my small hand friendly decks. So pretty much, so it will include like some minis, of course, but I wanted to kind of expand the criteria to anything that is going to be shorter than standard tarot size. So I will just put this here as I'm going to use that to compare all of these decks so that you can kind of see what we're working with. Yeah, let's just jump right in. So first deck, we have the Gentle Tarot. Now this is the linen edition. One of my all-time favorite shuffles. It is so good. It's just so snappy. These are also some of my favorite backs of all time. So let's take a look at the size comparison here. Okay. And we have a couple centimeters difference. All right. So I'm sure if you've been in the tarot space for any amount of time since this deck has come out, it is a favorite among us tarot readers. It is actually a deck that I did have a little bit of resistance to. This is one of the cards that really threw me off. Yeah, it's just, personally, I mean, the guidebook is incredible. I have the full-size guidebook to go along with this. And Mari goes into great detail with every single card. And after reading that, I mean, I can pick up what she's putting down with it. But intuitively, this does nothing for me. Anywho, yeah, it's a great deck. Absolutely beautiful. So glad that I decided to give it a chance. I think because it just had so much hype, it was just one of those decks that I was a little meh about, even though I liked the artwork. But I actually scored this secondhand for like $20, including shipping. So I went for it, loved it immediately. Again, the shuffle is chef's kiss. And then, like, within the same week that I got it, I purchased the full-size guidebook from Mari. So, yeah, this one is super small hand friendly. I can easily get my little punies around. So that is the Gentle Tarot Linen Edition. And I'm not going to spend a whole heck of a lot of time because I know I have like 15 plus decks here. So we're just going to keep it rolling. Okay. We'll go ahead and do the Lila Fur Tarot next. So this is the gold edition. It was like the most recent Kickstarter edition. And I'm so glad that I went with this copy. First of all, the gold detailing is really beautiful. But from what I read about the cardstock from the first edition was that it was not like riffle shuffle friendly. So, okay, it's about the same. It looks like a little taller than the Gentle Tarot, but still shorter than standard. And this shuffles really beautifully too. Now, okay. I think my biggest pet peeve with this deck, I like how I'm like going into pet peeves. That's not what this video is about, but might as well, right? Is that the courts, like the king and queen of every element, they look so similar to each other. And it's discussed in the guidebook that it's like purposefully done so there's not necessarily like a hierarchical difference. Like the king doesn't sit above the queen, but still the art is it's just too close for my liking. It does kind of get in the way of my reading sometimes, but overall I love the artwork in this. I love how like fluid the body, all the different bodies are. Yeah, I love the colors. I love the touch of gold. I think it's just a really fun little deck. It's something that I reach for if I'm looking for like inspiration or like trying to think outside the box a little bit, or if I'm kind of like mentally in like a mental block, creative block, things of that nature, I reach for this deck. So it's a fun one, really super cute, and great for small hands. Okay, and that is the Lila Fur Tarot. Next up, I think I'm gonna like work my way down to like my smallest deck. That sounds fun. Okay, so next we have the Tarot de Sequa, and this is the borderless edition. I can't speak to the size of the edition with like the orange borders. But let's see. Okay, so it looks very similar to the Lila Fur. About that same width, just a little bit shorter, which that's where it counts for the small hands crew. And this deck is fun too. I love the colors. I think so many of the depictions, they're just, especially through the, like this is one of my favorite star cards of all time. So many depictions, especially through the majors, are some of my favorites ever. And yeah, definitely very RWS, but then some kind of go their own way a little bit. But yeah, this one's great. It feels like a very intuitive reader too. I just love the art style. So yeah, that is the Tarot de Sequa. And again, like super easy to get your hands around. Highly recommend. All right, next up, let's see. I think we're just gonna take a look together. This might technically be a little taller than the ones that I've already shown. I don't know, let me see. Okay, we're not gonna feature it because it is the same height. But this is the Nosotros Tarot, and I'll just give it a little shout out because I love this deck too. All right. Now I know that this one is for sure small hand friendly. And that is the Tarot de Carlotides. So pretty. And this was my very first tarot. gorgeous backs. And yeah, definitely shorter and not as wide as standard tarot there. I love this little size. It's just so like petite and sweet, and yeah, such a fun little deck. I'll be honest, I haven't reached for it in so long. Again, I think maybe because it was my very first deck, and now I have pushing 100, I think. So it just gets a little neglected, but also a fantastic riffle shuffler. This is just like full of whimsy. I love the color palettes. Yeah, just a sweet, fun, vibrant, whimsical, funny little deck. And great for small hands. I love this Lovers. It's like that Klimt, the kiss. Okay. I do wish, because this just came with like a little white book. I do wish that the author or the illustrator would come out with like a full-size guidebook for us. There are some cards that I'm like, I just want to know more. I just want to know where she was going with it. Okay, so that's the Tarot de la Carlotines. Okay, I think we're up to the Thistledown. So this is the Thistledown Oracle deck by 3 Trees. This is my only 3 Trees deck. I was tempted by the Heartwood. I'm always tempted by Oak, Ash, and Thorn, but okay. So yeah, we're sitting right there, about that same size that we've been seeing. But yeah, this one was like a for sure yes for me. I find that as far as like animal heavy decks go, I'm much more inclined to, like, I work better with animal oracle decks than I do with animal tarot decks. Because I've had a couple animal tarots that have come through. I've gotten them and I've moved almost all of them along. There's a couple exceptions, and now that I'm really thinking about it, they're all kind of like the more anthropomorphized. I feel like I'm always saying that wrong anytime I try and use that word. Anthropomorphic, yeah, anthropomorphized. Like the Tarot of Curious Creatures or the Northern Animal Tarot. Those have withstood like the test of time. So, but I love an animal oracle deck, especially like this artwork. It has like that little bit of magic, like the personalities of the animals really come through. You're still seeing them in like their natural habitat. I mean, we've got dragons here too, but yeah, I love this one. This is a deck that I usually pull before bed if I'm feeling like I just need a little sweet message before bed. I actually meant to include this in my last video where I was talking about like regulating my nervous system, because this is one that I'll pull for that purpose too, because nothing feels very confronting in this deck, but it also does feel, I mean, I think it kind of leans on the positive side, but I mean, again, you have like cards like grief, you know, so yeah, I love this one. It's so sweet. I really like the cardstock with this too. But yeah, Thistledown Oracle. Okay, we're just moving right along here. Also, this tuck box is incredible. I think it's my absolutely favorite tuck box of all time. I love a tuck box that has like this little hinge situation happening, and then this like tongue, very like it's so easy to get in. It doesn't feel like it's damaging anything. So yeah, top the notch tuck box action. Okay, let's see, what do we have next? All right, I guess I'll go ahead and pull all my tins out. Okay. All right, so then we have the Tarot de Maria Celia, and this is my only Marseille deck. Gonna be honest, I never ever read with this, but it's kind of one of those things like I want to have one in case I decide to. I get a wild hair. So we are quite a bit shorter and slimmer than standard size here. I bought this pre-owned, and the person I bought it from did edge it in this like lime green, which is fun, and it pops up in a lot of the artwork here. But I really like this artwork. I think as far as like Tarot de Marseille goes, this always looks like Britney Spears to me. That's so Britney Spears, right? I can't be the only one that sees that. But I really like the faces in this one. I think a lot of Tarot de Marseille's, I've looked at them, and I just, there's something about so many of their faces. They seem, I don't know, like despondent or annoyed or like bored, or I don't know. But I think that their faces are really cute, and I really like the coloration of this deck also. Like lots of flowers, and yeah, it's a really cute little Marseille. It's like perfect size for little tinies. Okay. So that's that. I guess technically I should show this because it is, I know it's bigger. Okay. So this is the Erica's Lenormand of Hope. This was a Kickstarter. And what do you know? I also do not read Lenormand. But again, just like with the Tarot de Marseille, it's like if I want to have one on hand. And I did order, before I got this, I did order Erica Robinson is the like author. And the little book that comes with it is really good. But I ordered her, I think it's what, the language of Lenormand, I think. So it's something that I plan to take a look at and attempt, but this artwork, I mean, oh my God, it's absolutely beautiful. I saw it and yeah, I backed it instantly. I still read with this. I just kind of read it as an oracle. Like, I don't use the Lenormand system because this art is so beautiful. Like, yeah, there was no way I was not getting my hands on this deck. Like, are you kidding me? And it's even better in person. But the colors, the texture, like, look at that wood grain. It's so beautiful. So yeah, oh, I adore it. And I love this like deep brick red that comes through. It's absolutely stunning. I think it's one of my most beautiful decks, easily. But yeah, let me see. I don't think I... Okay. So we are slightly wider, like super slightly wider. Ooh, even, yeah, super slight, but definitely shorter. Okay, y'all, listen, I don't edit these videos, so I forgot to, my baby is sleeping, and I forgot to get his, like, monitor camera. So I'm gonna go get that. So, yeah, take a sip of tea and give me 5 seconds. Okay. Whew. I don't think I've moved that fast all day. So, Erica's Lenormand of Hope. I hope to one day know the system of Lenormand, but until then, I'll just keep reading with it and flipping through it. Okay. Next, we'll go ahead and look at the Making Magic little oracle deck here. I say oracle deck, but I don't use this by like means of divination whatsoever. And we are super slim and definitely shorter here. So yeah, this isn't one that I like shuffle or anything like that. But it has like these sigils, and then you'll get like prosperity. You know, a prosperous business with riches and success. Wishes come true. So it's just like sigils and titles and kind of describing what the sigil is for. So I will use these if I'm doing any sort of like intention work. I haven't done any like spell work per se in a very long time. But there is like a traveling one that I keep in my wallet for like safe travels. And it just makes it so easy. I know like Lisa Pepez talks about this deck. And she'll like, this is a perfect, I'll just show you because I have a tea light. But it's like literally the size of tea light candles. So yeah, it just sits so perfectly right on top of the little sigil here. So it makes it really great for intention work. And I love like intention candles and candle magic and candle scrying, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'll use it in that way. But thought I'd add it because it is a little teeny tiny. Okay. Next up, we have the Smithwaite Centennial in a tin. Now this is my only like true copy of an RWS deck. I do have the Teller Tarot, which is a clone, but the art is not like it kind of does its own thing in its own colorway. So, yeah, nice and small. Shuffles amazingly. I think there probably will be, yeah, this is like the only deck I have reversals in. I don't reach for this often. I reach for it more often now that, since I've bought the Centennial Oracle deck, which I will be showing in an upcoming video, but the artwork from the Centennial Oracle is like stylized in Pixies art style, so they go so well together. But it's one of those things like, I feel like I have to have at least one RWS deck. And I like the colors of this one. And I love the size of it. So, yeah. We all know this art. And that's the Smithwaite Centennial Edition in a tin. Okay. We're getting there. We're at least halfway there. Okay, now we have... I know I'm going to have some decks that are going to be taller than this, but whatever. The Light Seers Pocket Tarot. So, I had the full-size version of this after trying to avoid this deck at all costs. Again, it was just one of those, like, hyped up decks that everybody has and loves and would post. And something about, like, seeing posts of it just gave me the ick. That's really all I can say about that. Like, I would literally scroll away from posts featuring this deck as fast as I could. I will say, in person, I like it much more. So yeah, I got the full size and I ended up really liking it, but I would pretty much only use it for like client readings. And especially like in person, I like having smaller decks on the table. And this is really, it's an incredible deck for client readings. Because it is very intuitive, but yeah, it just made more sense to have a small version of this. So I actually am planning on moving along my full size and just keeping this little pocket because it's really cute and I feel like it shuffles better than the cardstock from the full size. So that's the Light Seers pocket. And then we have, whoop, come on, the Tarot of Pagan Cats, little mini. So I actually got this copy, the mini, before I got the full size. I ended up getting the full size because I adore this deck. And it's all teeny tiny too. I love reading with this deck. It's the only cat deck that I have. It's the only cat deck that I need. But surprisingly, like, there is so much symbology packed into these cards that I felt like I needed the full size. And the full size is borderless and it shuffles really beautifully. But there's just like so much good stuff that is like within the artwork that I just needed the full size too. And so yeah, I love this deck. I feel like it's very, like, the cats feel like they're still cats. And so I appreciate that about this deck. And yeah, Tarot of Pagan Cats. Uh-oh. Oh no. He's moving. There you go. Go back to sleep. Okay. We're safe. All right. How many more do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. God, I have so many small decks. Okay. We'll go this way. Okay. So this is the Earthbound Oracle. And that's what we're looking like. I love this deck too. I mean, I do a pretty good job at like moving things out that I don't absolutely love. So I guess I could say that about all my decks, that I really love them, but I think that the artwork is so unique. I love that they've been painted on pieces of wood, and so like the wood grain changes throughout the deck. And yeah, I love this. There isn't a single card that I don't like in this deck. And I mean, this is maybe my least favorite, but I love this deck. It's so fun. It's fun to read with. It actually pairs well with quite a few decks, and I just find it to be beautiful. And I think the keywords are great in this too. So that is the Oracle deck, or the Earthbound Oracle. I don't have the Wooden Tarot. It's something that I have considered, but I think ultimately it's not for me. And I'm trying to be really discerning of like what I pull in to my collection. So yeah, Earthbound. And then this is the Roots and Wings mini. And I have the one with the purple backs. And I don't know if you can see how dingy this deck is. This is well used and well loved and well shuffled. This is a favorite shuffle of mine. Let's see. And that's what we're looking like. So yeah, this is a classic. It is a great all-around Oracle deck. It pairs well and plays well with others. I actually use this pretty specifically in my practice, and I will pull a card, 1 card to 3 cards before every shower that I take. I started doing this about a year ago, and I love it. It's one of my favorite ways to pull cards. And I just like set the intention of like something to sit with, explore, meditate on, kind of dig deeper in as I, you know, am within the element of water, and I'm cleansing and I'm receiving. I feel like water is so magical. And this is all watercolor. And so, yeah, I almost exclusively use this deck in that way. But it pairs, like, it's a great deck to, like, read. I can do full readings with just this. This is one that I take often, too, when I'm, like, working markets and I'm reading in person for people. I'll do full readings with just this deck. And, yeah, it's a top Oracle deck for sure. Like, probably top 3 of all that I have. So that's the Roots and Wings. Let's see. Okay. This is the Paper Oracle, which is technically also a Lenormand, but it has, I think, like 6 or 8 like extra cards. This is also just absolutely beautiful. It's the same creator as like the Inkwitch Tarot, which I do not have. And I also read this just like a Oracle deck. And yeah, it's just one that, again, it was like, if I'm gonna learn how to read Lenormand, I want to have some on hand. It is something that I plan to study and understand, but again, I think it reads beautifully as just a Oracle deck, so I use it that way. Oh, I didn't look at the sizing. I mean, obviously we're smaller than standard here, but yeah, that is the Paper Oracle. Okay, dwindling this down. It's like my last 4 decks. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So this is the Inner Landscape Oracle. This is available on Game Crafters. I bought this secondhand, actually from the same person that I bought the Tarot Maria Decilia. So she edged this in like a teal as well. These are the backs, and this is where we're at size-wise. And just another really fun little deck. I think this one has really great keywords too. They are, some of them are really small on here. I don't have a hard time, like I don't struggle to see them in person especially, but yeah, these were all like hand painted, a little collage-y in some of them. But I think they have like, I mean, we have Shadow and Fear and Cage, and you know, I think it kind of runs the gambit of topics, which I can appreciate. And this deck does have, like, I feel like there's quite a few keywords that like I don't have in any other Oracle deck. So yeah, that's the Inner Landscape. And another great little deck for little hands. Okay. All right, this is the Apothecary reference cards. And this is one that I got on Etsy. And it came with like little, like, I don't know, little, like a reference sheet that kind of talked about, like it kind of gave keywords for each of the cards. That's what we're looking like size-wise. None of them really fit for me. So it has like it came like this, right? Where it would have the title or like the name of the plant, the Latin name, a like anatomically correct picture, and then the back gives you like practical uses and magical uses, which I love that. I wanted something, because I have a couple like herbal decks, but they're all very like illustrated, which I adore, but I wanted something that had just like the plant, right? So I just went through and added my own keywords on this one. And maybe it's just that like little bit of like personalization that gets kind of like entwined with the energy of this deck. But this deck, it's another one that I can just like do a whole reading of just these cards, and it just speaks to me. And again, maybe it's because I picked the words that are on here, but yeah, I was very close to like getting rid of this deck. It only cost me like $12 or something, but I was really close to just moving it along. And then I was like, let me just try this out. And yeah, it really turned it around for me. So yeah, that is the Apothecary reference cards. Okay, y'all. Down to our last 2 decks. Let's see. So these next 2 are very new in my collection. And that is the Craft Decadence Oracle. This is also on Game Crafters. And I love these backs. And that's what we're looking like size-wise. And hopefully I don't get too much of a glare. I find that these cards are like really pick up glare like crazy. It's kind of an interesting linen. Like, it is linen, but I don't know. It kind of has like a plasticky feel. I don't know. It's worth it for this artwork, though. And it's just so raw and real, and I love the words used on here. Talk about like words that aren't featured on any other cards of mine, like ineffable genius. Yeah, definitely isn't coming up anywhere else in any of my other cards. So I've really enjoyed this one. I'll be honest, I've had this one on my radar for a long time, but I saw somebody pair it with the Sistine Tarot by Rose Bay, which is my favorite tarot deck. And that is not just because Rose Bay has become a very dear friend of mine. It's just an incredible deck, just point blank. So I saw someone pair this with Sistine, and it was like, it was the selling point for me to finally go for this. I'm glad that I did. I just think it's so cool and unlike anything else that I really have in my collection. So yeah, that is the, what is this called? Craft and Decadence. All right. My final Tiny Hands deck is my tiniest deck, and that's the Sovereign Oracle. Now this thing is teeny, like it's teeny, and I can't shuffle, like I definitely can't riffle shuffle it, but okay, that's what we're looking like, a little teeny tiny sucker. And this has a ton of cards too. It's like 93 cards, and they all have, I think they're all crystals or gems or minerals like in the background. I know some of these are going to be upside down, but yeah, it gives you like a keyword and then 3 little phrases on here. This deck is fun to use. It is so poignant. The like keywords are great, but the like little extras that you get really like add so much. I have used this in readings for itself, like by itself, but it just because it's really wordy, so I really kind of use it to like expand on other card pulls. But yeah, another really fun little teeny tiny itty bitty deck for those of us with little teeny hands. Okay, y'all. Thanks for sticking around, for going through, golly, I don't even know how many decks that was. But that was fun. I'm gonna be honest, like I've been a little bit in like a bit of like a lull with my practice. I'm still doing like my daily draws, but I don't know, it just feels like anything beyond that I feel like overwhelmed with, and maybe it's like, I don't know, the state of the world that I'm just like, I just need to be like in reality and like just deal with what I got going on, and like not really diving deep or like exploring my psyche, you know. I don't know, but it's fun for me to like play and pull out and like look at my cards and see the art and just remember how much I love this. And even if it is just kind of looking at the art and shuffling and just kind of having that tactile experience, like it doesn't have to, like anything in nature, you know, like there's cycles and there's ups and there's downs, and it's like finding a place of not judging myself, because there is a little bit of that, right? Like having all of these decks just like staring at me and not really like utilizing them as I typically do, there is a little bit of shame that comes with that, like comes up for me, and like judgment of myself. Like, you've spent X amount of dollars on all these pieces of cardboard and you're not even using them. But you know, I just have to kind of like be where I'm at, and where I'm at is doing my daily pull of like 2 cards, journaling about that, and then yeah, making videos about my decks so that like I can pull them out and like see them and stay connected to that part of it. But all right, y'all, I'm rambling now. Thanks for watching. I hope you know, little small hand peeps out there got inspired or saw some decks that maybe you hadn't seen before, or yeah. Okay. Bye.